The Earth's furthest spacecraft, Voyager 1, is investigating a region of space where the spacecraft has returned breathtaking photographs and has traveled farther than anything previously from Earth. We now have access to crucial data from interstellar space that was previously unknown. However, in a new development, Voyager 1 appears to be transmitting strange signals from beyond the solar system. Nobody truly understands why its 45 years of space exploration are finally taking. Welcome to KYC News, and for a discussion about Voyager 1's toll, or might it be something completely different in today's movie, we'll examine the Voyager's incredible trip to this point. In the brand new arbitrary data that has academics and experts buzzing, humanity's interest in the world outside of what we already know and comprehend is what keeps us pushing for more and more Voyager 1 and Voyager 2 ships. This never-ending desire to discover and understand about interstellar space led to the creation of two. Our solar system's outer planets. NASA had intended to launch two spacecraft, and the budgetary restrictions prevented the passage of two further planets after Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto. Voyager 1 and Voyager 2 were chosen. The spacecraft is over 720 kilograms in weight. On September 5, 1977, a vehicle that is roughly the size of a subcompact automobile was introduced. Voyager 1 had been in actuality launched around 2 weeks after its twin Voyager 2, following its intended flight path. Different speeds, both Voyager missions were able to benefit from a rather unique alignment. Of the outer planets, which occurs only once every 176 years, catapults into space. Being the second spacecraft to launch, Voyager 1 made its journey from one planet to the next. First in 1979, then in 1980, to Jupiter and Saturn, but no one had quite anticipated precisely what a Voyager 1 was on a tremendously lengthy voyage, and its duration in orbit was unknown. Voyager 1 outran its twin following a successful launch, becoming the first known spacecraft to pass below the primary asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter when the probe was still 160 miles away from Earth in April 1978. A photograph of Jupiter was transmitted back. It started to take photographs and gather data as it approached Earth at million miles or 265 million kilometers. Information about the enormous planet, and was the first to find two additional moons. Métis and Phoebe for the Io, Europa, Ganymede, Callisto, and Amaltheus. Comprehensive images of the Jovian moons were released for the first time. Flashed back to Earth, permanently altering how we perceive the big ice planets, was breathtaking. The detailed information and photographs supplied, like as Io and its many volcanoes, led to discoveries. Having active interiors, or Europa, whose much smoother surface gives off the impression that it is a secret. After spending a year investigating Jupiter, it was time for the spacecraft to focus on another planet. Once more toward Saturn, Voyager 1 demonstrated how little is known about the planet next to us, and made more findings on the ring planet. Focusing on the mystery F-ring here, NASA's Pioneer 11 spacecraft found a tiny structure that had previously been unknown. Pantera and Prometheus Atlas, two notable moons, and the newly formed ring Titan. The dense atmosphere of the second largest moon in the solar system proved to be more difficult to navigate. An orange haze that the Huygens atmospheric probe would not take pictures of until years later. Voyager 1 kept up with its main objective of exploring and taking pictures from every viewpoint. When it was finally time to move into interstellar space, of Saturn and its moons. But not before capturing one of space travel history's most recognizable photos. The pale, almost 3.7 billion miles or 6 billion kilometers from Earth, a photograph called Blue Dot was captured, presenting the Earth as little more than a small dot in comparison to the vastness of space. The spacecraft's trip may have been most thrilling when it entered the first of its kind. Voyager 1 formally exited the heliosphere and entered interstellar space. The Sun blows a massive bubble of charged particles around itself, and in August into interstellar space in 2012, when a significant solar outburst was captured on camera, the discovery was made. By violently vibrating electrons close to Voyager 1 using the plasma wave instrument, the researchers was able to determine that the probe's surroundings from these oscillations. Researchers were able to determine that at a greater density than what one could see within the heliosphere. To examine the data from the spacecraft and determine the precise day when it left the heliopause since entering interstellar space on August 25, 2012, Voyager 1 has made several amazing discoveries highlighting the effects of powerful cosmic radiation and charged particles from the sun react with the ones given off by other stars, and a plethora of magnificent sights only appear to be the start of its adventure. Voyager 2, its identical twin, also entered on November 5, 2018. The Voyager spacecraft left the solar system and entered interstellar space. Vessel 1 has traveled farther than any previous ship in the history of the solar system. Records that may take some time to break are being established by human-made objects throughout the world, but just how, according to NASA, the legendary spaceship has traveled far beyond Earth, more than 15 billion miles away. While the mission has largely continued without major setbacks, the expedition has traveled 24 billion miles. Problems recently, mission scientists have observed that there appear to be some enigmatic signals. Voyager 1 is operational and the probe has begun transmitting signals in their direction, and has not noted any issues. It appears to be unsure of where it is in space, and thus is without entering safe mode or issuing any alerts, which it should ideally do, according to NASA. The Voyager 1's antenna, which is aimed towards Earth to transmit data, is still visible, working, but it appears to be returning absolutely erroneous data. NASA published in Once Worry Surfaced an official statement stating that the intergalactic explorers are functioning regularly, receiving and carrying out orders from Earth, collecting and delivering scientific data, but the Attitude, Articulation and Control System, or AACS, readouts from the probe don't actually represent what's taking place on board, causing one to wonder what precisely is happening on board. As with anything space-related, everyone immediately assumed that their aliens may be sending us communications, or Voyager may first be being deliberately intercepted. Sending conflicting messages back, however, this has been quickly debunked by experts, and any prospects for the chances of life on other planets interfering with the storied spacecraft aren't as great as some would think. I'd like to think that the AACS regulates the spacecraft's orientation and, among other things, keeps the Voyager's high-gain antenna accurately oriented at Earth, allowing it to relay data back to Earth for the time being. All indications point to the AACS functioning well, but the data being received doesn't exactly add together. For instance, the information can seem to have been created randomly or not accurately represent any potential, stating that the lack of onboard fault protection for the AACS might be another perplexing issue. Systems have not been activated, and the Voyager 1 signals have not been in any way diminished. The crew appears to be highly confident right now that they can overcome any obstacles to confront it as they have in the past. No one is entirely sure what these signals and false data are, though. Currently, it appears like NASA is content with how well everything else is operating, and Voyager crew members will either try to correct it or adjust to it once an Earth signal arrives. Reaches Voyager 1 in around 20 hours and 33 minutes, and there is a similar delay when project manager Suzanne Dodd said that a puzzle like this is sort of run for the course when it comes to getting data. Of course, she also underlined that the spacecraft is still in good shape at this point in the Voyager mission. A 45-year-old. Additionally, it is now in interstellar space, a place about which we don't know too much. Therefore, it's possible that the high radiation environment is distorting probe signals, and scientists will need to figure out how to either decode it or use it. She continued by saying that this is without a doubt the final obstacle that Voyager 1 must overcome on its interstellar mission. Voyager 1 is still breaking barriers decades after its launch, despite a recent glitch. Given how long it had been since the mission's successful launch, everyone was absolutely taken by surprise. Ability to leave the solar system, providing us hope for next expeditions as of this moment. Both Voyagers 1 and 2 have traveled far further than they had anticipated and far beyond their planetary objectives. Project manager for Spacecraft Suzanne Dodd at the Jet Propulsion Laboratory, "Every day is a new record for Voyager," read a sign outside Los Angeles, California. It has not yet produced more astonishing findings beyond the solar system, and maybe in 40,000 years it will creep within the distance to star AC plus 7938888 in the constellation Camelopardalis is 1.6 light years, or 9.3 trillion miles. The team believes that Voyager Interstellar Mission, or VIM, still has the potential to acquire more particles and waves from interstellar and planetary fields, maybe returning information to Earth. In this instance, there may be some other strange signals up to roughly 2025. Only time will tell what else Voyager 1 has in store for us before operations come to an end, after which it will roam the Milky Way indefinitely and beyond. So tell us what you think about the messages that Voyager 1 is bringing to NASA. Please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel in the comments section below. Enjoy more films like this one by subscribing to our channel. See you in the next one.